Ladies and gentlemen, in conformity with the theme of this event, Dreams into Reality, I'm of the belief that if organizations have to transform their visions, their dreams into reality, they require leaders of character and competence. And that's the theme I'm going to be speaking about, because these two constituents of a good leader must go hand in hand. There's no point being competent and not having character, or having character and not having competence. And therefore, to be able to excel and to be able to realize your dreams, your end states, to be able to utilize the manpower, the resources with you, as per the stipulated timelines to achieve the ends, you got to be a person, a man or a woman, a leader of leaders, a leader of character and competence. Character is something which starts building and developing in a person from the time a person is born. But I would say at the age of about 3 to 4, a child begins to understand what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. And character is formed on these values. It has two constituents, attributes and values. And character is something which we pick up and we build. We are the architects and builders of our own character. And it starts off from a very, very early age of 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And as you come along, it's your parents who start off telling you what is right, what is wrong. Your siblings tell you, your school tells you, your institutions tell you. Symbiosis, for example, is telling you what is right, what is wrong. Almost 15 to 20 kilometers from here, down south, is a prestigious institution like yours, the National Defense Academy. And I'm a product of that, a graduate of that. I passed out in 1971. I call that institution a blast furnace. Blast furnace because it transforms wrought iron into invincible swords for the defense of our country. Why invincible swords? Because they are transformed into the finest of steels. And they're given the attributes of always winning on the battlefield. And the foundation for your character begins from these institutions. And we have such blast furnaces. We have it in Chennai, we have it in Bihar, we got it in Dehradun. These institutions are there which are transforming young minds into good leaders of tomorrow. So what I'm trying to tell is that you can formulate your character depending on how you perceive yourself, how do you envision your future, and where do you want to take yourself. And given the fact that character comprises two things, the values and attributes, values which I feel, having been the chief of the Indian Army for 42 years, having remained in this great profession of arms, I'm of the belief that the most important value which a person must have, a leader must have, is of integrity. Integrity is doing the right thing legally and morally. People say there's a requirement of also having discipline as a value. Discipline comes if you have integrity. If you underscore integrity, if you value integrity, if you live with integrity, automatically you'll be doing the right thing legally and morally, which is correct. You're traveling at night and suddenly you find on the road at midnight, when you're getting back from your office and getting back to your spouse, you find the road open, not a single vehicle there. But suddenly the light which was green on the road turns red. An impulse might tell you, let me jump the red light. But if you have integrity, it will give you discipline. You shall stop and wait for the light to turn green. It's doing something when no one is watching you, right? You do the right thing, irrespective, unmindful of whether people are watching you or not. It is the inner strength, an inner belief, an inner drive which tells you what is right and what is wrong. So integrity is one very important quality which must be followed. The next I believe in is loyalty. Loyalty is owing allegiance to your organization. In the case of when you join the corporate sector, to your organization, to your industry, to your corporate house, you have your allegiance also to the people who are above you, below you, and along with you, your peers. You have your allegiance, your loyalty also to your family and to yourself. In our case, in the case of military, we owe allegiance to the Constitution of India. We owe our allegiance to the tricolor. We owe our allegiance to the nation, in addition to other facets of loyalty that I spoke about. You have to have that loyalty. And loyalty to yourself is something which spurs you to improve yourself, to become the finest amongst the finest, to be a leader amongst the leaders. And that loyalty is something which always tells you that, look, I must owe my allegiance and maintain a very balanced profile. When I talked of loyalty to your family, ladies and gentlemen, what I imply is that unless you owe also your allegiance to your family, you would find you will not live a very happy life. I was asked this question yesterday. You've got to maintain a balance. And it's the allegiance, it's the loyalty to your spouse, to your children, to your family, which will enable you to balance your time in life, to manage your time in a manner that you can contribute, you can fulfill your obligations towards your family and also your work. Bhagavad Gita has very aptly brought it out. When love and duty are one, then there shall be grace in you, and you shall enjoy a happiness that shall surpass all imaginations. It's given in our scriptures, so you should be able to maintain a balance, and it comes with loyalty. The next important value which a leader of character and competence must have is that of respect. Treating people the way they are supposed to be treated. Right from top, senior most person in the entire spectrum of an enterprise, to the junior most person, a person must be treated the way they are supposed to be treated. It is this particular quality, this particular value, which will also enable you to respect the ladies and maintain a gender balance and gender equality. So therefore, every component of the human resource, the human capital, what we call, of an organization, has got to be dealt with compassion, with concern. And as a good, effective leader, you should be able to have your finger on the pulse of virtually every individual of your organization. So this is important, that you got to have respect as one of the values to be able to emerge as a leader of character and competence. The next value is that of duty. Again, enshrined in our scriptures, told to us right from our childhood days, taught in school. I remember when you look at the NDA prayer, endow us with the courage which is born of the love that knows no compromise or retreat when truth and right are in peril. Awaken our admiration for honest dealing and clean thinking, and guide us to choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong. I picked up this. These are the excerpts of the NDA prayer. I imbibed these. I still remember these. These are the values which come in your life. And let me tell you, even your institution is giving you values by the day. It's for you to decide what kind of a character you want to have. A positive character, a negative character, a good character, a bad character. A robust character or a weak character. It's for you. You are the architect and the builder of your own character. So duty is something very important, that is fulfilling your obligations towards your organization and towards your people. It's duty which tells you to empower your subordinates. Unless you imbibe this value, unless you underscore this value of duty, you shall not be involved in empowering your subordinates. And success, ladies and gentlemen, in life is all about taking people along with you. People will only follow you when they know that you care for them. When they know that you as a leader are committed towards ensuring the realization of their self-actualization needs. You are committed towards ensuring they become tomorrow worthy of occupying higher positions. That will only come in if you have this value of duty being respected all the time. Selfless service is another very important ingredient. It's going beyond the call of routine obligations. Everyone does his work, but 1 hour more. I believe in this. If you're prepared to spend 1 hour more, I'm of the firm belief that you can outshine anybody else as a leader is concerned. So therefore the duty is very important. Selfless service along with that, of being able to do 1 hour more, self-denial, being able to walk 1 mile more to be able to achieve your goals in life. And thereafter is also the commitment as far as the honesty is concerned, truthfulness is concerned, which again hinges on your integrity and the loyalty that I talked of. Now, along with this, the values are the attributes. Attributes in a good leader, which are in the form of, we have the mental attributes, you have the emotional attributes, and you have the physical attributes. Now, let me start by physical. Physical attributes, ladies and gentlemen, give you the desired bearing. They give you the desired physical and mental robustness to be able to deal with difficult situations. And therefore, if you are physically fit, if you are mentally robust, you will emerge as a great leader. And therefore, this attribute of physical fitness is very important. You shall have a bearing which is marked by a very pleasant demeanor all the time. You'll be able to conduct yourself with grace all the time. So therefore, physical attributes are important. But getting back onto the mental attributes, Now, mental attribute is something which is very important from the point of view of will. The first attribute in mental is will. If you have the willpower of never saying die, of never letting it go, of persevering, drawing on the inner reserves of perseverance to make sure you achieve the ends, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, getting up every time you are knocked down, you will go places. Never give up in life. Will is something which will take you places. It's a determination. It's a desire never to let go and to ensure you achieve your ends. In life, you will be confronted with a large number of situations. It won't be an easy walk. It won't be a cakewalk in life. There will be a number of hurdles in life. But do you give up? No. You just carry on. You bash on regardless. You've been knocked down. You get up. You dust your clothes. Look into the eyes of your adversary and keep walking. And you will emerge as a victorious in times to come. So the most important attribute, when I said, of the mental attributes amongst them, is of the willpower. And all great leaders have exhibited this. The other the attribute, when you talk of the mental attributes, is the self-control, self-discipline. As a good leader, you would be given a lot of opportunities. You will have a large number of opportunities where you will find your impulses trying to overpower you. Let, ladies and gentlemen, these reckless impulses never take you astray and never take you from the path you have chosen for yourself. So coupled with will is also the self-discipline, the self-control. There will be impulses. You will get a lot of opportunities where you find that perhaps you could do wrong things. But that's where your character comes in. That's where your values come in. How would I be perceived as a leader if I do this? That is something you've got to see. And therefore, this is a very important attribute. Along with will, you've got to be self-disciplined and you must have self-control. And in the mental attributes, of course, is again your ability to take initiative in life. You've got to be proactive. You've got to be alert. To succeed in life, you've got to virtually grab fleeting opportunities. They only come once in a while. And you can't afford to be like a bicycle. You can't afford to be complacent. You can't afford to be passive. You've got to be proactive. So these mental attributes, coupled with the values that I told you, are important. And when you talk of the emotional attributes, ladies and gentlemen, are the attributes of balance and of stability. A good leader has the balance, has the stability. You cannot, when you're confronted with an ugly situation, break down. You cannot start throwing tantrums. You cannot lose your cool. You've got to remain a symbol of perfection, calm, composed, confident, because that's what your subordinates are seeing. So not any situation on earth should be able to create any ripples in your personality, affect your personality, and you should be able to stand tall with these values. So emotional stability and balance is very important, again, as a leader to excel and be a leader amongst leaders. Now when you talk of competence, this is what I talked of character. So when you build a character, as long as you have these attributes with you, which are physical, which are emotional, which are mental, and you also have the values with you, which have been given to you right from your parents, by your parents, to your college now, and all your life you'll be inheriting these. And these values become part of your personality when you start practicing these. You've got to do that on a daily basis. They'll become a habit over a period of time. And along with this, ladies and gentlemen, is the competence. Now, competence means a certain degree of knowledge which you all must have, which essentially goes down into 4 skill domains. That's how I perceived. One, of course, is the technical. Technical is the basic fundamental knowledge that you have to do your job. Wherever you go tomorrow, you'll be picking up jobs in various corporate houses. You must understand the technical skills. What exactly are you required to do? What kind of equipment you got to hold? What kind of technology is there? How are you going to master the technology? What's the future technology that is coming in? You've got to remain awake. So the first thing is technical, being able to do what you have to do as part of your job content. The other second skill which is there is with regard to your tactical skills. Tactical skills, for example, those of you joining your business, tomorrow would be required to master the tactics of the market space. Your victory, your strength, your success is going to lie in your ability to capture maximum market space. What tactics are you going to use? What tactics are you going to use as part of your negotiations? When you meet various people in the environment, various stakeholders. So these are the tactical skills. Then you come on to the interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills are communications. There's no point being a great leader of character and competence if you're not able to convey to your people, because what is leadership all about? Leadership is all about taking your colleagues along with you, your subordinates, your people whom you are leading along with you willingly to be able to accomplish the task. And they will only follow you if you communicate what's in your mind. What's the end state you're looking at? What's the task? What's the goal? What's the objective? And therefore, a good leader, a good, competent leader must be a good communicator. You should be able to put across your views, your desires in the simplistic manner, briefly, with clarity to your people so that they can follow those instructions of yours. Along with this, of course, when you talk of interpersonal skills, I talked of negotiations. Very important again for you, all of you, because you'll be joining the corporate sector. Unless some of you decide to come into the army, you won't get a chance to negotiate then. But in the private corporate sector, you will be confronted with situations where you'll be most of the time negotiating, and therefore these interpersonal skills of being able to communicate, being able to negotiate is something very important, of being able to tutor, of being able to teach. These are the skills which come up as part of your interpersonal skills. And of course, the last is the conceptual skills. Conceptual, ladies and gentlemen, is something which gives you the intellectual maturity. It gives you the intellectual sophistication. It is something which throws you up from a lower arena into the higher arena, into an arena which is marked by large number of agencies operating, an arena which is gray area, an arena which is marked by volatility, which is marked by uncertainty, which is marked by complexity, and which is marked by ambiguity. In that arena, to be able to operate, you require the intellectual sophistication. You require the intellectual maturity. And this comes up when you look at the conceptual skills being honed. It's a never-ending process. And Professor Patil mentioned about it. I always maintain, you are never full, you are never complete. You're always learning. I'm still learning, having retired after 42 years of being a commissioned officer. I'm still learning. Each day is learning. Each event is learning for us. It never stops. It goes on till you die. So carry on with this. And the more well-ripened mental faculties you have, the better leader you would be. Because when you rise to the helm of affairs of your organization, when you step into the strategic leadership arena, you are going to be confronted with situations which require well-ripened mental faculties and attributes to be able to take decisions. It will enable you to envision the future. It will enable you to strategize. It will enable you to interplay the ends, ways, and means to be able to achieve the ends. It will give you the right form, the right frame of mind to be able to ensure that you're able to use your resources in the most optimal manner for achieving the ends. So conceptual skills, from my way of thinking, are something which are very, very important. And these actually come up over a period of time. These skills are something which, the older you go, the more knowledge you gain, the more experience you gain, you keep adding on to it. But good leaders start acquiring these at early age. You can hone your skills. These skills give you frames of reference. Frames of reference are like the ingredients of your mind, of your brain, that when you're confronted with a situation, in a jiffy, it tells you like a computer, what are the options available. Those frames of reference come up through hard work, through experience, through study. And therefore, you've got to continue to work towards ensuring that you achieve that maturity. So, ladies and gentlemen, to sum up on this very beautiful occasion, where I was a speaker starting this particular event of transforming your dreams into reality, you can only do that if you're a leader of character and competence. And in this, the last facet that I touched upon, conceptual part, is very, very important. Because converting a dream into reality requires strategizing. It requires the adoption of the right kind of tactics. It requires the right kind of ways to be chosen. You have the means with you. Means are in the forms of the manpower, your human resource, the men, the ladies, the women. You have the finances, you have your organizational structures, you have the infrastructure, you have your training infrastructure, you have your logistic infrastructure, you have your operational infrastructure, you have your various prongs of your department which are over there, but it is the ways that matter ultimately. Your ability to use the right ways to be able to leverage that potential of yours in the stipulated time frame to achieve the ends is the hallmark of success. And that can only happen if you are a great leader, an effective leader, and a leader of character and competence. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.